Chosen one, stop what you are doing. Do not move past this message. This is not another random voice passing through your screen. Heaven has interrupted your ordinary moment because someone with influence is being moved toward your name right now. Listen carefully. A person with access, authority, and private reach is being stirred to notice you. This is not about fame. This is not about chasing attention. It is about a door that God has been preparing behind walls you could not see. You have felt it. Your spirit has been restless. Something in you has been sensing movement before your eyes could confirm it. And even when your day looked normal on the outside, your inner world kept whispering that something unusual was getting close. You have been waking up with a strange pressure in your chest. Not always fear, not exactly sadness, just weight. It feels like your soul is standing at the edge of a threshold, waiting for a sound, a message, a call, or a name to appear. Do not dismiss that feeling. Do not call it random. Do not reduce it to nerves, because some of you have been feeling watched, not in a dark way, but in a way that feels like heaven is tracking your response before the next door opens. You have noticed signs. Maybe the same number appears again and again. Maybe your sleep breaks between 3 and 4 in the morning. Maybe your body gets still for no reason, and your mind suddenly remembers a person, a place, or a possibility you buried long ago. That is not weakness. That is discernment beginning to rise. Your spirit is picking up movement before your natural senses can explain it. And this is why ordinary moments have started feeling charged with hidden meaning. Chosen one, hear this. God is not opening this opportunity in a loud way. He is not sending it with fireworks. He is not making the whole world clap before you enter. This door is quiet because it is protected. Private access is often how divine promotion begins. Before Joseph stood in public authority, he was summoned from a hidden place. Before Esther carried influence in the palace, she went through quiet preparation. Before David sat on a throne, his name was already known in heaven. So do not despise the small sign. Do not ignore the normal-looking invitation. Do not overlook the message that seems too simple. And do not assume that every major shift must arrive with noise, because the door God opens for you may begin with one private conversation. Someone important wants to meet you privately, but listen deeper. This is not just a person. This is a gate. This is not just a meeting. This is a shift. This is not just an opportunity. This is a test of whether you can recognize divine movement when it comes dressed in ordinary clothing. You have spent so long being overlooked that recognition feels suspicious now. You have been passed over so many times that attention feels dangerous. And because people disappointed you before, you may have trained yourself to distrust every door before you even touch the handle. That is exactly where the enemy has been working, not always against the opportunity itself. Sometimes he works against your ability to receive it. He whispers that it is too good. He whispers that you are not ready. He whispers that people like you do not get invited into rooms like that. But heaven says differently. Heaven says your name has not been forgotten. Heaven says your preparation has not been wasted. And heaven says the very season that made you feel hidden was also the season that made you safe for bigger access. You were not buried. You were covered. You were not rejected. You were reserved. You were not invisible. You were being kept from eyes that would have used your gift before you understood its value. There is a reason the wrong people could not keep you. There is a reason certain doors closed without explanation. There is a reason your plans kept falling apart, even when your heart was pure. God was not punishing you. He was preventing premature exposure. Some rooms look like promotion but carry poison. Some invitations look like blessing but are traps for your need to be validated. And because your heart has been hungry to finally be seen, God had to teach you how to test a door before stepping through it. That is why this message had to reach you now. Not after the meeting, not after the message comes, not after the invitation appears, before it. Because when the sign arrives, you must not respond from panic, insecurity, or old rejection. You must respond from alignment. You must respond from peace. You must respond from the quiet authority of someone who knows that God does not open a door to humiliate his chosen one. There is something different about this coming opportunity. It will not feel like the opportunities you forced. It will not require you to beg. It will not make you shrink, and it will not demand that you perform for people who never cared about your soul. This one will feel strange because it will come with respect. That may be unfamiliar to you. You are used to being needed, but not honored. You are used to being contacted when people want something, but not invited when someone sees something valuable inside you. So when this person reaches out, your first instinct may be to question it. You may wonder what they want. You may wonder why now. You may wonder why you. And I need you to understand that those questions are not proof that the door is false. They are proof that your old wounds are trying to speak before your spirit does. Your past has taught you caution, but your spirit is being taught discernment. Caution protects you from repeating pain, but discernment teaches you how to recognize God inside a moment that looks unfamiliar. There is a difference. Fear says run from anything bigger than your comfort zone. Discernment says stand still long enough to test the fruit. Fear makes every open door look like danger. Discernment lets your spirit hear the sound of heaven beneath the surface. This is why you have been feeling so sensitive lately. Your reactions are sharper. Your dreams are vivid. Your patience with fake people is almost gone. And your tolerance for shallow conversations has been decreasing because God is tuning you for a more serious room. You cannot walk into the next room carrying the same noise. You cannot enter a private opportunity while still needing public approval. And you cannot recognize a divine connection if you are still addicted to proving yourself to people who were never assigned to open your door. Let that land. You are not being prepared for applause. You are being prepared for access. You are not being trained to impress crowds. You are being trained to sit across from one person who has the power to connect, appoint, fund, recommend, or unlock something that has been delayed for years. That is why this message feels personal. Because it is. The sign will not come to everyone around you. It will not make sense to people who have not carried your history. And some people close to you may not even understand why this private meeting matters so deeply. Do not explain too soon. Do not announce too much. Do not hand sacred access to people who only know how to question what God is doing in your life. Some doors must be protected in silence until the fruit appears. You have lost things because you spoke too early before. You shared dreams with people who secretly wanted them to fail. You opened your heart to people who treated your assignment like entertainment, and you told your plans to ears that were not clean enough to carry them. This time, move differently. This time, guard the sign. This time, let the meeting happen before you start explaining it to everyone, because private access requires private obedience. Chosen one, I need your full attention now. The opportunity God is opening is powerful, but it will not stroke your ego first. It may require humility. It may require silence. It may require you to answer one message with maturity instead of fear. You may have to show up without over-talking. You may have to listen more than you speak. You may have to let your presence carry the weight instead of trying to convince someone that you belong. This is where many chosen ones miss it. Not because the door never opened, not because heaven forgot them, not because the opportunity was fake. They miss it because when the door finally appears, their nervous system still expects rejection. They sabotage the thing they prayed for. They delay the reply. They downplay the invitation. They assume the person made a mistake. And sometimes they reject the very meeting that God arranged because their pain made honor feel unfamiliar. That will not be your portion. Not this time. You will not run from what God sends. You will not shrink when a serious person sees you. You will not call yourself unworthy after heaven has already marked your name. Say this inside your spirit. I will recognize the door. Say it again. I will recognize the door. Let those words settle deeper than fear, because your next season will require you to trust God more than you trust the memory of rejection. This is not the season to hide behind false humility. False humility says, "Who am I to receive this?" Holy humility says, "If God opened it, I will enter with reverence." False humility insults the preparation God has invested in you. You have been prepared. You have been processed. You have been corrected in silence. You have cried in rooms no one entered. And you have survived seasons where the only proof of your calling was the fact that you could not give up. Heaven saw that. Heaven recorded that. Heaven honored that. And now the door is beginning to move because your obedience in hidden places has created authority in unseen places. Do not expect everyone to celebrate. Some people only respected you when you were struggling. Some people only felt safe around you when your potential was covered. And when they sense that your name is moving into a better room, their spirit may react before their mouth confesses it. Stay calm. Do not fight them. Do not defend the door. God did not ask you to convince people who were comfortable with your delay. He asked you to be ready when the appointed conversation arrives. There is one sign you must watch for. The person will not approach you with chaos. They may come directly, quietly, and with unusual seriousness. Their words may be simple, but something about the timing will hit your spirit with weight. You may feel a sudden stillness. You may reread the message more than once. You may feel your heart become alert, not anxious, alert. And in that moment, do not rush to answer from the old version of you. Pause, breathe. Ask God for clarity. Let your spirit test the tone, because the right door will not need manipulation to pull you in, and the wrong door will not be able to survive the light of your discernment. This is why the enemy has tried to keep your mind crowded. Too many voices, too many memories, too many disappointments replaying, too many unfinished fears, because a crowded mind can stand in front of a holy sign and still miss it. But God is clearing the noise. Even now, as you listen, something inside you is becoming still. You are remembering who you are. You are remembering that you were never ordinary. You are remembering that your life has always carried a pattern too precise to be random. The isolation was not random. The delays were not random. The sudden endings were not random. The betrayals were not random. Even the people who walked away were part of the separation that had to happen before your name could enter a new level. You may not have understood it then. You may have called it loss. You may have thought God was silent. But silence is not absence when heaven is arranging access behind the veil. Some of you are closer than you think. That is why distractions have increased. That is why old emotions have resurfaced. That is why people from your past may suddenly try to pull your attention backward, because the enemy wants your spirit busy when the sign arrives. Do not go backward. Do not reopen what God closed. Do not entertain confusion right before clarity comes. The private meeting ahead requires a clean spirit, a steady mind, and the ability to hear God louder than your fear. If this message is speaking to you, make a simple agreement right now. Comment 777, not as a game, but as a witness that you will recognize the door when God opens it. Let that comment become your first act of alignment. And do not leave yet, because the first sign will not look spiritual at all. It may look like a normal message from a normal person, but heaven will be standing behind it with authority you cannot afford to ignore. Chosen one, now listen with a steady spirit. The delay was not proof that God forgot you. It was proof that God was protecting the timing. Some doors would have crushed the old version of you, because access without preparation can become a trap instead of a blessing. You kept asking why nothing moved. You wondered why others advanced while you stayed hidden. You saw people with less purity receive attention before you, and it hurt because deep inside, you knew your life carried something real that no one seemed able to recognize. But heaven was not delaying your life to punish you. Heaven was separating you from rooms that would have used your gift before honoring your soul. God was not keeping you from opportunity. He was keeping the wrong opportunity from reaching you too early. There is a difference between being blocked and being guarded. A blocked person is trapped by darkness. A guarded person is held back by wisdom until the door is clean enough to enter. You were not stuck in the way you thought. You were being measured for a room you had not seen yet. That is why the private meeting matters. It is not only about a person with influence. It is about timing, covering, and divine order. Public applause can attract jealousy, but private access can carry instruction before anyone else knows what God is doing. Some of you have been praying for a big open door, but God is sending a quiet one first. He is not beginning with a stage. He is beginning with a conversation. He is not beginning with a crowd. He is beginning with one person whose yes can shift the direction of your next season. And this is why your inner world must be clear. A noisy mind will misread a holy invitation. A wounded heart will question sincere respect, and a spirit that is tired from years of disappointment may call a divine opening too good to be true. I want to name something early, and I will come back to it later. There is an audio tool called the Genius Song. It was created around brainwave entrainment and gamma activation, and some chosen ones use it as a simple daily way to quiet the mental noise that makes discernment harder. This is not the full explanation yet. Stay with the message. The reason I mention it now is because the opportunity ahead will require a mind that can hear clearly, not a mind crowded by fear, delay, and old rejection speaking over the voice of God. The verified place to find it is in the description and pinned comment, but do not run ahead of the message. Let the teaching settle first, because the tool only makes sense when you understand why clarity is so important in this exact season. You are entering a season where the sign may be subtle. It may not announce itself as destiny. It may arrive as a small message, a quiet referral, a sudden introduction, or a private request from someone who has more access than they reveal at first. Do not judge the door by its first appearance. God often wraps major shifts in simple instructions. He told Moses to lift a staff. He told David to carry bread. He moved Joseph through a request to interpret a dream. Heaven has always used small moments to open large gates. So if someone reaches out soon, do not rush to expose it. Do not immediately tell everyone. Do not place the seed in the mouth of people who do not know how to bless what God is planting. Some opportunities die because they are discussed before they are discerned. The private nature of this meeting is part of the sign. Not everything God opens for you will begin in public. Sometimes He hides the beginning so the enemy cannot attack the seed before the roots go deep enough to stand. This is why you felt the pull to become quieter lately. You may have lost interest in explaining yourself. You may have stopped chasing certain people. You may have felt less desire to post, prove, argue, or announce every little movement in your life. That quietness was not depression. It was preparation. It was your spirit being trained to carry a bigger thing without spilling it too early. God was teaching you that secrecy is not fear when it is guided by wisdom. Chosen one, you have always had a problem with giving access too soon. Your heart is generous. Your spirit wants to share. You want people to understand your excitement, but not everyone who hears your good news has the purity to protect it. Some people clap with their hands while cursing with their spirit. Some people smile because they want details, not because they want your victory. And some people only appear supportive while your life remains small enough for them to feel comfortable. This next door cannot be handled that way. You must become selective with your words. You must learn the difference between testimony and premature exposure. A testimony is shared after God establishes the work. Premature exposure talks while the door is still forming. The enemy has attacked your timing through your tongue before, not because your words are weak, but because your words are powerful. When you speak over something too soon, you invite ears into a room where only God should be standing. That is why your silence is not punishment. Your silence is protection. Your silence is a wall around the seed. And your silence is the sacred space where God can finish shaping the opportunity before human opinions start trying to rename it. You are being trusted with private access because heaven knows you have suffered enough public misunderstanding. This time, God is not asking everyone to approve the door. He is asking you to recognize it, respect it, and walk through it with a clean spirit. But hear this carefully. A big shot does not always look like a big shot at first. The person may not come dressed in obvious power. They may not announce their title. They may speak simply, but carry a key you could not have created for yourself. So do not become impressed by status alone, and do not become blind to authority when it arrives without glamour. The correct person may feel calm, grounded, and unusually direct, while the counterfeit person may feel flashy, urgent, and hungry for your weakness. Discernment will matter more than excitement. Excitement can make every open door look divine. Fear can make every divine door look dangerous. But discernment can stand between both and say, "Let me hear what God is saying beneath the surface." This is the deeper lesson. God is not only opening an opportunity for you, He is testing whether your spirit has matured enough to stop confusing noise with movement. Not every busy thing is blessed. Not every impressive thing is assigned. Not every invitation is yours. You need peace before you answer. You need stillness before you agree. You need prayer before you reveal details. Because the right door will not require you to betray your spirit in order to enter it. There is a sacred confidence rising in you now. It does not feel loud. It does not feel arrogant. It feels like a quiet inner knowing that says, "I do not have to chase what God has already assigned to find me. Chosen one, stay close now." The pattern you are walking through is not new. Heaven has used this same pattern again and again. Before a chosen person is brought into visible access, they are often hidden where only God can measure their spirit. Joseph did not enter the palace by forcing the door. He entered because a private need reached his hidden place. A dream disturbed someone with power, and suddenly, the man who had been forgotten in prison was remembered in the exact hour heaven had appointed. That is the pattern. The person who reaches out to you may be carrying a problem your life has been prepared to answer. They may not understand why they feel drawn to you, but heaven knows what has been placed inside you for this appointed hour. You have asked God why your gift was so hidden. You wondered why louder people moved faster. You watched others enter rooms you knew they were not prepared for, and it bruised something tender inside your spirit. But delay cannot cancel divine timing. Esther carried the same mystery. She did not begin with a crown. She began with uncertainty, separation, and obedience inside a system she did not control. But when the hour came, her private access became the protection of an entire people. Her influence was not loud at first. It was strategic. It was hidden behind timing, restraint, and courage. She had to know when to speak, when to remain silent, and when to enter a room that could change everything. This is why your silence matters now. This is why your discernment matters now. You are not only waiting for an open door, you are being trained to know what to say when you enter it, because the wrong words in the right room can still delay the right outcome. David also carried this pattern. He was anointed before he was recognized. His family did not fully see him. He was sent back to fields after oil touched his head, because heaven often confirms a calling before people are ready to honor it. The quiet season did not mean nothing was happening. It meant God was building weight in you. It meant your spirit was learning how to carry access without worshipping access. It meant you were being trained to enter bigger rooms without losing your center. This is where many people fail. They pray for influence, but they are not healed enough to survive it. They ask for a seat at the table, but they still need applause from people who never fed their soul. God cannot send you into a serious room while your heart is begging unserious people to approve you. Now the season is shifting. But the shift does not mean you can abandon discernment. Promotion without discernment becomes danger. Access without peace becomes pressure. And opportunity without alignment can become a beautiful door into the wrong room. This is why I keep saying, do not be impressed too quickly. A person with authority can be sent by God, but status alone is not proof of assignment. You must listen beneath the words. You must sense the spirit behind the invitation. When the right person speaks, your spirit may become calm, even if your mind feels surprised. There will be weight, but not manipulation. There will be seriousness, but not panic. There will be an invitation, but it will not feel like a hook pulling you into confusion. The counterfeit will feel different. It may flatter you too much. It may rush you. It may demand secrecy without peace. It may use your hunger for recognition to make you ignore the warning inside your chest. So test the fruit, test the timing, and test the tone. God is not offended when His chosen one asks for clarity. Heaven does not punish discernment. Heaven honors the one who refuses to confuse emotional hunger with spiritual confirmation. The right door can survive prayer, patience, and peaceful examination. This is where your mind must become clear. Not empty, clear. A clear mind can notice the small shift in a voice. A clear spirit can sense when a door carries peace. And a clear inner world can hear God even when the opportunity looks bigger than your comfort zone. Some of you have been living under heavy mental noise. You pray, but then doubt interrupts. You sense something, but then fear argues. You receive a small sign, but then old rejection starts explaining why it cannot be for you. That fog is not your identity. It is not who you are. It is the residue of years spent surviving disappointment, and it has tried to make your discernment feel unreliable right when you need it most. This is why tools that support stillness and clarity matter in this season. Earlier, I named the Genius song, and I will explain it fully in a later moment. For now, understand the principle. When the inner noise settles, the spirit can recognize what fear used to distort. Spiritually, you may call it discernment. Scientifically, people have studied heightened clarity through brainwave states connected with focus, insight, and flow. And when a chosen one begins to regain that inner sharpness, the same door that once felt intimidating can begin to feel aligned. Do not miss the connection. God can send the opportunity, but you still need the steadiness to answer it. God can move your name, but you still need the clarity to stop calling favor a mistake. God can open access, but you must stop shrinking when access looks back at you. This is the rising test. Not whether God can open the door, He can. Not whether heaven can move a person with influence, it can. The test is whether your inner world can receive what your outer life has been asking for. You have prayed for expansion. You have asked for favor. You have cried for a sign that your suffering was not pointless. But when the sign begins to appear through a real person, in a real message, at a real hour, your wounded places may try to disqualify you before anyone else does. That is the hidden battle. The enemy does not always need to block the blessing. Sometimes he only needs to train you to mistrust it. If he can make honor feel suspicious, he can make you walk away from the table God prepared. If he can make you feel small in front of serious people, he can silence your voice in the room where you were meant to speak. If he can make your past louder than your calling, he can make a divine invitation feel like a threat. But that cycle is breaking. The old agreement is losing power. You are not that frightened version anymore. You are not the person who must over-explain, over-perform, or apologize for carrying something rare. You are allowed to be chosen in the room. You are allowed to be respected without earning it through exhaustion. You are allowed to receive help from a person with access, without assuming there is a trap hidden inside every act of favor. Let that heal something deep. You were used before, but not everyone is a user. You were dismissed before, but not every powerful person is blind. You were betrayed before, but not every private conversation is a setup. Stay with me now, because the real danger is not that the opportunity will never come. The real danger is that it comes, and the old wound in you tries to speak first. The real danger is that God opens the door, and fear answers before faith can stand up. Hold your spirit steady. The next revelation will expose the voice that has been trying to answer for you. Chosen one. Now the truth becomes sharper. The private meeting is not the reward by itself. It is the sign that your name has already entered a room before your body did. Heaven has been moving quietly, and the conversation coming toward you is evidence that delay has started to break. This is the moment the enemy feared. Not because you are finally noticed by a powerful person, but because you are about to realize that you were never powerless. For years, the wound in you said, "Maybe I am not enough. Maybe I missed my time. Maybe other people are chosen for doors like that, but not me." And that wound became so familiar that even when favor came near, you could not recognize its voice. That is the hidden blocker. You are not only fighting outside resistance, you are fighting the part of you that learned to feel safer in delay than in promotion. Delay became painful, but it became predictable. Promotion feels holy, but it also feels unknown. So when someone with influence reaches out, fear may call it danger. When private access opens, insecurity may call it a mistake. When respect enters your life, rejection may ask what they really want. But your past does not get to interpret your future anymore. Hear this with your whole spirit. You do not need to prove that you belong in a room God opened. You need to enter with reverence, clarity, and peace. You are not begging for access. You are responding to alignment. The big shot is not your savior. God is your source. That person is only a vessel, a gate, a bridge, or a witness placed in the right position at the right time. Do not worship the vessel, but do not reject the vessel, because your pain fears being seen. This is where many chosen ones fall back. They can survive rejection, but they panic when honor arrives. They know how to endure closed doors, but they tremble when a serious door opens with their name on it. They know how to pray in pain, but they must now learn how to stand in favor. You are not being asked to become arrogant. You are being asked to stop shrinking. You are not being asked to chase status. You are being asked to recognize assignment. You are being asked to carry yourself like someone heaven has already approved. The enemy has studied your old wound. He knows you can hear God when life is hard. He knows you pray when doors close. So now he tries a different attack. He tries to make blessing feel suspicious. He whispers, "This cannot be real." He whispers, "Do not answer." He whispers, "You are not ready." But the Holy Spirit does not sound like panic. The voice of God may correct you, but it will not bury you under confusion. This is why clarity matters now. Your next response cannot come from trauma. Your next yes cannot come from desperation. Your next no cannot come from fear. Earlier, I mentioned the Genius song, and now I want to explain why it belongs in this message. Not as a distraction from God, not as a replacement for prayer, but as a simple tool for chosen ones who need inner noise to settle, so discernment can become sharper. The Genius song is a 7-minute digital audio track made to be heard through headphones. It uses brainwave entrainment to support gamma activation, the brainwave often connected with insight, focus, intuition, and flow. Spiritually, you may call it clarity returning. Scientifically, it is the mind moving toward a more awakened state. Dr. Robert Lake, a neuroscientist with 34 years of experience, developed this work around the idea that many people lose access to their natural brilliance as life conditions the mind into dullness. Research from places like Massachusetts Institute of Technology, Princeton, Harvard, and other leading universities has explored how brainwave states relate to attention, learning, and clarity. Hear the spiritual bridge. This is not about becoming someone else. It is about remembering the part of you that life tried to shut down. Many chosen ones were born with strong inner perception, but years of stress, pressure, betrayal, and survival can make the mind feel foggy. You still carry the gift, but noise can cover the signal. The Genius song is designed as a daily 7-minute way to help that signal become clearer again. More than 18,366 people have used it, and the refund rate stays under 4%. That matters because it suggests that most people kept it after giving it a real chance, even when they had the freedom to ask for their money back. Some people feel clarity quickly, some need days, some need weeks. That is normal. One person may feel a quiet shift after the first listening, while another may later notice that decisions feel lighter, thoughts feel cleaner, and synchronicities feel easier to notice. Do not expect fireworks. Expect alignment. Sometimes the breakthrough begins when the noise finally loses authority. Now let me make the value clear without turning this sacred moment into a sales pitch. Many people pay around $15 every month for meditation apps. Others spend $100 to $200 on online growth courses. Therapy can cost around $150 for one session. Those things may help some people, but they do not directly focus on Gamma in this simple way. The Genius song was originally $49, but for viewers of this message, it is $39 as a single payment. No subscription, no shipping. It is delivered digitally through email, and it also comes with 4 bonuses. Genius Child, valued at $19, Classic Book, valued at $20, Guided Visualization, valued at $29, and the 5 Habit Infographic, valued at $12. That is $80 in bonuses included with the $39 access. There is also a 90-day money-back guarantee. You can listen, use it, test it, and if it does not feel right for you, you can ask for a full refund. No complicated conditions, and even if you ask for the refund, you keep all 4 bonuses as a thank you for the time you gave it. I need to protect you here. There are fake pages and imitation audios using the name of the Genius song. Many are just ordinary sounds with no real brainwave entrainment behind them. Do not search for it on Amazon, YouTube, Spotify, or random sites. The only place connected to this message is the verified link in the description and pinned comment. That is the place where the original audio, the 4 bonuses, and the guarantee are together. If you feel led, use that door. If you do not feel peace, do not force it. Now pause for a moment. Breathe slowly. Place your hand over your heart if you can. Not to decide from pressure, not to decide from fear, but to ask one honest question inside your spirit. Am I willing to become clear enough to recognize what God is opening for me? Let the answer rise quietly. If your spirit says yes, you know what to do next. The verified link is in the description and pinned comment. Step through only with peace, but if peace is present, do not delay your obedience. And stay with me. The final part will seal this message over your life, because the opportunity is not only coming to be noticed, it is coming to test whether you can stand still, speak wisely, and receive without shrinking. Chosen one, now let the message settle into your spirit. Do not rush past what was revealed. God is not only opening a door, He is teaching you how to stand when the door opens. The private meeting is not meant to make you nervous. It is meant to confirm that your hidden obedience has been seen. In the coming days, watch with peace. A message may arrive, a call may come. Someone may mention your name in a room you never entered. A quiet referral may appear through a person you did not expect. And when it happens, your spirit will remember this moment. Do not panic when the sign comes. Do not overtalk. Do not shrink. You will not need to prove every detail of your pain to be worthy of the opportunity. The right person will not need your entire history before they recognize the weight of what you carry. Place your hand over your heart if you can. Take a slow breath. Let your body hear what your spirit already knows. You are not behind. You are not forgotten. You are not begging for a future that heaven has already marked with your name. Say this within yourself. I will not reject the door God opens because it looks bigger than my past. Say it again, slowly. I will not reject the door God opens because it looks bigger than my past. Let those words become stronger than every memory of rejection. The old version of you expected disappointment. The healed version of you expects direction. The old version of you apologized for needing space. The healed version of you protects what is sacred, and the chosen version of you knows that silence can be obedience. This is your seal. You will not announce before God establishes. You will not invite jealous ears into holy beginnings. You will not hand fresh instruction to people who only know how to question your assignment. You will move quietly, wisely, and with peace. When the meeting comes, listen before you speak. Let the other person reveal the reason they were drawn toward you. Do not fill the room with nervous words. Sometimes the strongest proof that you belong is the calm authority of your presence. There will be a moment when you recognize it. The message may look simple. The words may not seem dramatic, but something underneath it will carry weight, and your inner world will become quiet in a way that fear cannot imitate. That is when you pause. That is when you breathe. That is when you pray before answering. You will not answer from panic. You will not answer from people-pleasing. You will not answer from the wounded need to be accepted by everyone. You will answer like someone who knows God was in the room before the invitation arrived. You will answer with honor, but not desperation. You will answer with humility, but not smallness. You will answer with wisdom, because wisdom is part of your promotion. Now hear the prophetic instruction. Keep your spirit clean. Do not go backward to old conversations that drain you. Do not reopen doors that God closed. Do not let loneliness make you return to people who only knew how to use your light. This is a narrow hour. Not narrow because God is withholding blessing, but narrow because focus is required. The enemy would love to pull you into drama right before the appointed message comes, and he would love to make your emotions loud when your discernment needs to be clear. Do not take the bait. Refuse useless arguments. Refuse sudden confusion. Refuse the old need to defend yourself to people who have already decided not to see you clearly. Your energy is needed for the door, not for the distraction. The opportunity coming toward you is not random. It is connected to every quiet yes you gave God when no one applauded. It is connected to every night you stayed faithful while feeling unseen, and every season where you kept your heart soft without letting people own it. You thought those hidden moments disappeared. They did not. Heaven recorded them. Heaven weighed them. Heaven used them to shape the version of you who can now sit in a serious room without worshiping the person across from you. Some of you will receive confirmation very soon. It may come through business. It may come through ministry. It may come through a creative door, a financial bridge, a personal introduction, or a private conversation that feels small at first but opens something large later. That is why flexibility is holy in this season. Stay firm in your values, but flexible in the method. Stay anchored in God, but open to unfamiliar packaging. The blessing may not wear the clothing you expected, but your spirit will know the sound. I speak over your discernment now. May your spirit become sharp enough to recognize the right door. May your mind become quiet enough to hear the right instruction. May your body become calm enough to stop confusing newness with danger. I speak over your name. May it be carried into rooms where favor is already waiting. May the right person remember you at the right moment. May the wrong person lose access to your future, and may every counterfeit invitation lose its power to distract you. I speak over your voice. When you enter the conversation, may your words be measured, clean, and full of grace. May you know when to speak and when to listen. May you carry authority without aggression and humility without shrinking. And I speak over your heart. May it stop expecting betrayal from every form of attention. May it learn the difference between danger and honor. May it be healed enough to receive help, connection, and private access without suspicion ruling the moment. Chosen one, type these words. If you feel them in your spirit, I will recognize the door. Let that comment become a witness. Not for me, not for the algorithm, for your own spirit. So the old fear knows it no longer has permission to answer for you. And if this message has carried weight in your soul, Do not keep it only for yourself. Like this message, so another chosen one can be pulled into alignment. Share it with the one person who has been sensing a door but doubting their worthiness to enter it. If you know you need deeper clarity for this season, the verified link remains in the description and pinned comment. The Genius song is there for those who feel led to quiet the noise and strengthen the inner signal. Move only with peace. Do not search randomly. Do not follow counterfeit pages. Use only the link connected to this message, where the original audio, the bonuses, and the guarantee are held together. If your spirit already knows, respond with obedience, not pressure. Now breathe again. Let peace return to your body. You do not have to force the door. You do not have to chase the person. You do not have to make the meeting happen through anxiety. God knows where you are, and He knows who must find you. You are being positioned, you are being prepared, you are being protected. The door is quiet, but it is real. The meeting is private, but the fruit will speak. And the opportunity is powerful, but God is still greater than the opportunity. So walk in peace, guard your mouth, watch the signs, test the tone, keep your spirit clean. And when the message comes, when the call comes, when the quiet invitation comes, do not shrink. Stand still, breathe once. Remember this word: God did not bring you this far to make you afraid of the room He opened. You will recognize the door, and you will enter with wisdom, favor, and holy confidence.